Welcome to the Unapologetic Midlife Podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Labazetta, and I am here today with Heather
Thank you so much.
Carlson Graves.
You're
Thank
fine.
you.
I don't know what my last name is at this point. I've had so many of them. And when people address me by different last names, and each give me a certain feeling. So
Yeah.
Carlson is my maiden name, and I actually like that. That's me before everything, like the past 25 years.
And you've been on quite a journey. I know briefly when we had touched base and you're like, if you're looking for guests, like I am interested. And man, have you been through it?
I've had the best year and a half of my life. And it's hard for me to say that because, when you get stuck in a certain point in your life and you don't see the path forward and you just are doing the
Mhm.
same thing on a daily basis and you're on the wheel and you're a mom, you're a single mom, you're doing it
Yeah.
on your own, you're mowing the lawn, you're making, you're doing it all. And you realize that you just don't want to, or you just can't anymore. It's not making you happy. You're not fulfilled. You're living on a wheel. And I was just
Yeah.
pretty much done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood, a beautiful yard, lake views, and I wasn't happy. Something had to change in my life. And so when I sit here a year and a half later, I'm like, I see things just completely differently.
Yeah, you needed that change. And I know you did. You sold your house. You were in a beautiful little place that, like you said, lake views, like what people I think
Magical.
dream of. Yeah.
Magical. It was
Yeah.
and this is how I put it. It was my biggest dream I could have at that time in my life. It was the
Hmm.
biggest I could dream.
Hmm.
And it was a pretty good dream and it was a good
Hmm.
run. But I knew in my soul was saying, this isn't working for you.
This isn't it
This
anymore.
isn't it anymore. And when I meet people now, they say, you're so brave. And I
Oh.
don't think of it that way because it was just more like I had to. Like I had
Hmm.
to. Like if I was gonna thrive and grow and have the light and the energy that I used to have when we first met
Hmm.
many moons ago, I had to do these things no matter what, no matter how scary they were. But I didn't feel like I was being brave. It was necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like sometimes you just get to that point in your life. And let's give a little backstory, right? Like what got you to this point of recognizing being unhappy? And I guess start wherever you feel comfortable starting from,
I don't even know where.
because you've been through it. I
Yeah,
mean, I know
I
your
have.
story, but
I have. So I think you and I, so I've been thinking a lot about you and us and meeting. I think we met 21 to 3 age bracket.
yeah,
You
yep,
were
on the
living with a
lake.
friend of mine
Yep,
and you were going to school.
yep.
And at that time, I was ready to move into my career and get going. And I was so proud of you for taking so much time out of getting your life going and moving like I wanted
Yeah.
to really know what you wanted at that age. I didn't. I
Took me
didn't.
a minute to like finally get it together. I mean, I went to school for a few different things. So I'm like, oh gosh, back then I'm trying to think of what I was going for. I mean,
It
I don't
all
think
is
there's a
relating now
time.
that I know what you're doing now. It all
Yeah.
relates in some fashion and form
Oh
to
yeah.
where you esteem to now.
Yeah. No, my I feel like my life experience shaped me to be a therapist. Don't want to go through it again, but it certainly gives you some life perspective and it kind of set the tone, you
Yeah.
know. So I believe this for a lot of people. And through doing this and having these interviews with so many different people, I'm really seeing a lot of people feel this way about their life.
Yeah, they do. And believe it or not, I think more people than not do. I only meet a
Okay.
very small percentage of people that are living the life of their dreams. And even people that aren't living the life of their dreams, they still have the light of hope in their eyes. And I've
Yeah.
noticed the difference between people that I meet. There's either the light or there's not. And I was at the place where there was no light.
Yeah.
I could fake it. I could fake it a little bit, but you didn't get what you're getting now. And I see that when I go out into the world and people say, I've had two people say, one person is my child.
Okay.
And I've had
Okay.
another person say, does this happen to you everywhere you go? And it's just like, yes, it does happen to me. And for me to be able to say that now is it is the energy that you put out into the world is what you get back.
Yeah.
And I always believed that. But when you get on that wheel of survival mode, and that's what it is,
You don't
it's
feel it.
survival mode.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't see the bigger picture. You can't feel, you might feel your intuition, but you push it away, or I did at
Yep.
least,
Yep.
because it's
Yep.
easier. It's easier. But then when you make the easier choices, they're band aids. They're band
Mhm.
aids, one after another, until you finally decide to rip them off and see
Mhm.
what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, those Band-Aids almost feels like they're probably holding you together at certain points in your life. Yeah. So the Band-Aids, what were the Band-Aids?
The Band-Aids
I
were,
guess
work,
metaphorically.
like, truly. So we met when we were in our early 20s, and I was ready to move on and get things going and had a career in nonprofit that I probably could have grown with.
Okay.
Um, I met a man when I was around that age. He lived in New
Mhm.
York City, but he was from the town that I lived in.
Mhm.
We spent a year together. He lived in Manhattan. I would go out there to visit, and he wanted me to go move. But the programming of you need to have a good job with good health
Mhm.
insurance, and you need to do
Mhm.
this, and you need to do this took me from what my soul was wanting and asking for and needing and knowing. And
Mhm.
I silenced that because of the way that I grew up and what society says you're supposed to do.
Yep.
I got pregnant, got married, moved out of town. That did not last. Moved back to it's not my hometown, but where I spent many, many
Mm.
years. And you just keep reinventing yourself. But I got to a point of when I did get divorced and I moved home, I had a small child.
Mhm.
My mother was a stay at home mom until we got older, and then she went back to teaching. But I always knew that I wanted to raise my child.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "How am I going to make the money? How am I gonna
Yep.
do this?" But at that time too, I was creating. I don't know how. I met some women in a city that I was living in that were selling belts to the local boutiques that they were sewing. They were cute.
Mhm.
They,
Yep.
they were, And I said, "Oh, my grandma taught me to sew." And they said, "Oh, can we hire you to sew them?" And I'm like, "No." No, no, your belts are cute, not my style, not my thing, and if they're not
Right.
my style, I want nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
So, I started doing some research and I started seeing some things I liked and I started buying fabric again and I had a sewing machine
Mhm.
already previously and I started designing clothing for children.
Mhm. I remember you
Yeah,
this journey.
yeah, and so I didn't think it would do what it did, but at that time, I'm trying to think what year it even probably 2008, 2009.
Okay.
Etsy was just beginning. So I found this site called Etsy. And over so many years, I sold $1 million of hand sewn children's clothing. And most of it I sewed. I did have women that were retired or single mothers that would take some work home. I also had an
Mhm.
intern that was awesome, but
Awesome.
would take their stuff home because I didn't have the space for it and
Mhm.
bring it back. And I would make sure it was all finished because my name was going on that. And all we have at the end of the day, I mean, now I know we have more than this, but our name means something in the world.
Yeah, it's part of our
And a
identity.
product or a
Yeah.
service that we provide, our
Yep.
name is connected to that. So I would
Yep.
finish each product. My son was getting a little older, things were getting more challenging, harder to balance, and my dad said, "You need to open a factory. You need to put it in a factory." I was really not experienced in that side of business,
Mhm.
and I didn't know what to do. Looking back, hindsight's 2020. I should have increased my prices, become more exclusive, blah, 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 blah. I was already selling internationally, wholesale.
Wow.
I should have done that, but I didn't. I made a different choice at that time. Now looking back,
Yeah, yeah, you learn.
I know how to do it, but at that time I didn't. So I kind of closed up shop and then I didn't work for several years. Maybe I would sell this thing or that thing or do this or do that, but I never had a solid career.
Okay.
So the pandemic hit and the man that I had met when I knew you from New York City moved back to town.
Mm.
And it's so funny because I had just had a breakup. And it was a pandemic. It was the week the pandemic happened. There's a shutdown. I say to my best friend and neighbor, my God, I am never going to meet anybody. And she's, especially there, Mindy, like,
Right, right. It's small.
never going to meet
Little.
anybody over the pandemic there. And she said, Heather, you're going to meet somebody from here. And I, come on, like laughed at
Don't
her,
be crazy. Right, right.
laughed at her. Wouldn't you know, he came back.
And this is where a new journey begins.
And this is where a new journey begins. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're dating this man.
Yeah. And it's the pandemic, and he wasn't working in the beginning. He then started working for a very large makeup company in New York City, but online. And I
Okay.
wasn't working because I still hadn't been working. So we were having a good time. Like, we were sitting on the back porch, having drinks, having cocktails,
Enjoying the
walking, just,
views. Oh, yeah. All of
having a
it.
good time. Picking the blueberries off the bushes, baking blueberry pies, making fabulous dinners, inviting, people over and having a great time together. And then out of the blue, he dies. We spent a year together and he dies.
One of the best years of your life,
One of
and
the
you're living
best years.
again.
The pandemic was certainly so much about it, and not just him, but so much about it was seriously one of the best years of my life. And that time that we spent together. And when somebody dies and
Unexpectedly, right?
unexpected,
So super
right?
unexpectedly. Yeah.
Unexpectedly. So looking back, there's so many questions that go through your mind with
Oh,
grief.
yeah.
But how could I have not known? And I don't know the end why he died.
Okay.
It was a heart attack,
Okay.
but there were other signs of things that I didn't understand. Because if you don't understand these things, how would you know? Like jaundiced skin, and 2 days before he died, I saw him, and
You knew something was off, but like you,
it was how, and I killed myself for so long. Like, how did I not know? How did I not know?
probably because you've never experienced anything like this. Like in my brain,
Yeah.
I don't know if anything prepares us. And I've been sick, right? Like I know there could be a million things, but also like it's the pandemic. There's 8 million things going on. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah. So, there was a lot of things to process with that.
well, yeah,
A lot.
I feel like you were living again. Like
I
I
was.
remember seeing your pictures online and just you
We were
looked
so happy.
so happy.
And he wanted to do a Christmas card. And I have not ever done a Christmas card since the first year when my son was born, because I didn't realize, I guess when you don't have like a family, like
Mhm.
what the society calls a family,
Yep. Yep.
you don't put out a Christmas card. People do. I think it's fabulous,
Yeah. It
but I
is.
didn't. And he wanted to
Okay.
put out a Christmas card because he never had. Or maybe he had, I can't remember.
But he wanted to do it with you.
He wanted to do
He
it
hadn't done it with you
with
with
all
you.
these photos, and it was like one of the funniest days and the best memories of my lifetime in my front yard with the FedEx truck going by, because it was like Christmas time or right now. We never sent those because I didn't. There were so many things, and this is like has driven me crazy. Is there's so many things that he wanted to do that
And
year
you were kinda hesitant of?
that
Or
makes me
just
think he knew.
oh, gotcha. Like
He
he
asked
knew
me to
something
marry
wasn't
him,
right or
like,
some intrinsic, like he knew the time was ending somehow, but like
yeah.
obviously didn't talk about it.
Yeah, and how could you not know your own body, you know? Now that I know mine so
I think
well.
denial, like we don't wanna believe it. I think when you're young too, because
Yeah.
I know this is midlife, but this was a few years ago.
Right.
You're
I mean, he was
young.
50. He was 50 years old. He was, I think, 10 years, 8 or 10. Yeah, he was 50 years old. I don't know if at that point we were, he did ask me to marry him, and I didn't think he was
Aw.
serious. And I can't remember at the restaurant if he was down on his knee. I don't remember. But I didn't think he was serious. And at that time, marriage was like, and still marriage is so like
I'm not ready.
that. I think I laughed. I laughed at him, and I'm like, "Oh my god, oh
Get
my
up
god."
off the floor.
So, yeah, and then I, drank myself silly for, like, 6, 7 months.
After his
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even before that, like, I'm not, let's be real.
We
Found
grew up we
alcohol
grew
and
up in the
alcohol.
2000s.
Yeah, yeah. I found alcohol, and I really liked it a lot.
Okay.
a lot because when you experience everybody, we all have trauma. And for me,
Mhm.
I'm not a professional, but when you experience trauma and you don't want to deal with it, you will do anything not
To
to deal
suppress
with
it.
it.
Yep.
It's too
Yes.
painful. So you want to not feel it. And what I have experienced in the recovery from drinking
Mhm.
is your life within 6 months when I stopped. So he passed for 6, 7 months. I mean, I was just like a wreck. Like,
Yeah.
you knew
And
it was
rightfully,
weird
I
to
mean, that
yeah,
that's so difficult.
especially when we met when we were young, and I hate to look at things I hate to go backwards because you can't. You're in this moment now. This is all we have. But when I look back and say, "If I took that road,
Yeah.
could we have
Had a life together
could we have
sooner.
saved"
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and that's not what I chose, and I had guilt about that because I stayed with the system and the wheel and the way it's supposed to work, and, so I dragged myself really bad. People knew at, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like, "You can't talk to Heather, like, she can't." Like,
Yeah.
and that's not the look that I've ever been going for, and it's certainly not the look I'm going for now. So I had tried not drinking many, many times before,
Mhm.
but it never stuck. And this time, I don't know why. I don't know
So you
why.
don't know what that tipping point was of, like, finally it finally
I had a
kicking
date.
in.
I had a date. I went to the doctor. I took medication.
Mhm.
I will be very honest about that. Like,
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do to get
you
sober.
do. You do. And had a date. And that date, I stopped drinking. And within 6 months, the color of the sky, it opened up.
You started to see life
You
differently
see it
through a
all.
different lens, yeah.
You see it so different. And I look at people that have any addiction, any kind of addiction.
It's hard.
And it's hard to look at because I see the other side of it. And I don't want to say that I'm okay. Like the other day, I'm walking down the road going, huh, I don't have bad days. I handle things differently now.
Yeah.
But if I'm having any sort of like bad feeling, I will
It
think
still yeah, yeah.
the thought will come up, gosh, a drink would be really good. But then immediately do you know what that would do to your life that
You
you
think of the
created?
rest of the picture, yeah,
Correct. Like,
yeah.
and it immediately goes away. But I can understand how if you haven't healed enough that you
Mhm.
can't see that. And so when I see other people with addiction issues, it breaks my heart because through all this,
You get
I've
it.
always wanted to save people. Like that's just who I am. But I realized nobody could save me.
But you.
We have to choose to save ourselves. I would love to go sprinkle fairy dust over many people, all people.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
But I know until you make that decision or you make that choice it's in one ear or not, like you have to want it.
You've gotta do the hard work to get yourself through the difficult things, and that's the thing with, like, even therapy, like, people can, "Oh, I'm here because my wife," or, "I'm here because my husband sent me here," like, ultimately, you're here, either you wanna be here and you wanna face this really hard shit and unpack it, that it will pretty much break you in the process,
Mhm.
or you can be that victim, right?
Right?
That victim mentality.
It's what you choose, and let me tell you, I have never chosen that mentality, like, full bore. Like, there's
I
a
don't
lot
think
of reasons I could say or
yeah.
claim the victim mentality, but I never did because once you claim that, that's what you put out there. That's what you put out in the universe, and that's what you bring to yourself. And I
Yeah.
saw this, and getting back to the wheel is after the pandemic, after Jason's death, after I got sober, and what you talk about the painful feelings during therapy. I didn't start therapy until November of 2025 or
Okay.
January of 2025. So I did those feelings on my own. And if you stop using any kind of alcohol, drug, or substance, or sex, or shopping, or whatever it is, those feelings come up and they're nasty.
Mhm. Yeah, they're heavy. They're heavy and it'll come out of nowhere and it'll blindside you at times.
Yeah. Yeah. But I made the decision to do the work. But I'm not going to say it's easy because last year I did relapse, and I'm not calling it a relapse. People would say to me, "How do you control that?" Well, I realized after talking to a friend who's had a mutual experience in her life, she
Mhm.
said to me, "There's only one way, it's abstinence." And I
Yeah,
was
there's
just like,
no in
"Yeah,
between.
there isn't. There
Yeah.
isn't." And it's not like I could go out. I could. I have such willpower. It's ridiculous. Like ridiculous.
I
I
know you
always
do.
have. I,
You always have.
I always have
Yeah.
had willpower. But I could go out and I could have one drink. I don't like even what one drink makes me feel like. I don't like waking up.
It's
Yeah,
yeah. It's a
you're not
lot.
at your best. And I want to be at my best level. And you
Mhm.
even have one, it just topples it. So
Yeah. No, the anxiety, and I feel like midlife, I mean, I definitely enjoyed myself in my younger years, and at this point, I can have, like, a glass of wine at dinner, it's okay and it can end there, but I kinda just don't like my sleep being interrupted. I don't feel like my body handles it the way I did in my 20s. I feel like the anxiety that comes the day after even drinking a drink, it's horrible. Like, I
horrible.
don't know if it's just we're more sensitive at this point in our
It's
lives in midlife.
horrible.
It really is just like, "Nope, I'll be fine with a Pepsi, thank you."
Yeah, and I love Coca-Cola. I love Mexican Coca-Cola. Give me all the sugar. But hey, it's better than the alternative. So I'm proud that I made that decision, and who knows what
Yeah.
will tomorrow will bring. I'm in the present moment. So, and that's how I choose to live now for the most part, you know?
Yeah, and I one thing I do enjoy, and I don't really care if people don't like drinking or not, like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as, like, I never, like, pressure somebody to
Yeah,
drink if they're not or whatever, and I don't care if other people don't like if I'm not drinking. It's more about you have to be comfortable with the choices that you're making, and you have to live with those decisions, and then the possible consequences or actions that might ensue after you then consume that alcohol.
correct. So the pressure of society was never a problem for me. Some people, I'm sure it is. That was never a
Yeah.
pressure for me, and I enjoy going out. Like,
You're social. Yeah, you
I'm
like
very social. Like,
people.
I call
Yeah.
myself a loner 'cause I am after I've been socialized out. I take people's energy and it goes and it takes me over. So I
So
internalize a lot of people's energy and then I need to rest, but I love to go out and I can totally go out, hang out, have a nice dinner, but I can't spend hours in a bar in the night. Like, come on. Like, I'm
I
going to go sleep. I know that's more important than anything to me is my sleep. So,
no, I'm with you. Good night of sleep is it's everything. It's totally everything. I mean, I feel like, and I don't know if you're feeling this. I mean, they say like, us going into perimenopause, menopause, like the loss of estrogen and it's a buffer. And I feel like I've always been somebody who's outgoing and social, but I'm finding myself at this point in time retreating a little more. Like I'm good staying in on a Friday. I like my social time. I'm loving doing this and having conversations with people and catching up. But I'm also like, I'm okay having some alone time. It's something that I feel like maybe you're pickier with it, where maybe we always had it, but maybe again, we're just more in tune with it now, or maybe the changes are not supporting so much people time. It's interesting to think about.
I just have discernment now.
Yeah, that
Which
too.
I didn't have as much as I do now. So that
Yeah.
is a process, but I also realized society things and drinking and not wanting to go out and do those, like, all the time. We need our time, but I
Mhm.
also realized the energy that I'm putting out. How do I? Because I do take a lot of energy in. I love people so much, and I love sharing stories and listening to them and learning through them,
Mhm.
but I internalize a lot, so I need that downtime
The balance.
for sure
Yeah.
after that. Yeah.
What do you find yourself engaging in more now with that balance? So, I know you were a sewer, you created, you had your own business, like, you're a creative.
I am.
for
I
sure.
I am, and I love that about myself, but it makes it hard in the real world. And that was part of the wheel, is a person like me cannot live on the wheel. It just doesn't suit. Lucky for me, I had the creative side and I had the business entrepreneurial side and the social media, all of that, that
Mhm,
combined to build a beautiful brand. So, yeah. So, what am I doing in my time? I am enjoying trying to let my nervous system embody the person that I've become, if that makes
mhm,
sense. So
mhm.
it's really funny. I've been doing what I need to do. So if it's a red light therapy sauna, I'll go do it. If it's
Okay,
a Reiki,
perfect.
oh my gosh, I found Reiki massage. I will never in my life go back to a Swedish deep tissue that I thought I needed for all of my pain.
The
Reiki.
energy work is interesting, yeah. Yeah, I love lymphatic drainage, that's one of my favorites too. I have a great person by here that I see.
So
Yeah.
yoga, I've met yoga friends. The lake is always a huge part of my life.
Mhm,
Water's always a part of my life. So I try to get to water daily.
mhm,
That's really important to me. So I like to live very fluidly right now. My
mhm.
creativity, so far, I haven't really found the correct outlet. I have some ideas going on, some things that people mentioned a few years ago that might come into fruition at some point
Okay.
when I'm ready. So we'll see where we go with that. Right now is really finding my footing again of feeling body, mind, soul togetherness
Mhm,
and experiencing happiness and joy life in daily life. And also going out into the world and shining the light that I have now, that I
mhm.
always had, but that I am able to give to people that I choose to give it to now.
It was dimmed a little bit, yeah, with some of the things that you went through.
And so, like, I am really taking the time to understand the universe in a different way, the way that we're not supposed to. So, so many weird things over the past year and a half, and I made all these changes, and I decided to like just do these things that maybe people thought were not like okay. Like, why is she doing all this? Because I knew what I needed. But I should have, I've documented some of it, but I should write these things down because it happens so frequently.
What are some of those things?
So
I'm
one happened the other
curious.
day. So when my son and this other person said, "Does this happen everywhere you go?" It's like the other day, I'm not good with parking garages, but I found my way around like most of them. But there's one that everybody would think would be a little, jarring. I've been lost in it 2 times. The second time happened 2 days ago. And I'm lost in a parking garage under 2 floors. The anxiety is creeping up in me already,
Okay,
right?
yeah, that claustrophobia, I can feel that setting in, yeah.
I'm walking in a direction I think I'm going in, but all the doors are locked. You can't get in to go up the stairs. You can't get in to go to an elevator.
And this is real life, like, you experienced this in real life, or is this a
This
dream?
happened 2
This is
days ago, like,
okay, okay, real life, okay,
maybe
okay,
3 days ago now, but this is
okay.
the spiritual part of it. So
Yep.
I'm walking down this tunnel and I'm scared, and it's not that I'm scared of people or anything like that. I'm scared of, I think, being trapped and I can't get out. I
Ooh, I feel
don't
like
have
that's symbolism, though, too, from your aspects of your life.
Yes. So that all came together, but I'm walking in this dark cement, and there's this man standing out of nowhere, like, literally out of nowhere. And I say, "Oh my gosh, do you work here?" And he goes, "Yes, what's wrong?" I said, "I'm lost. I'm scared. I'm overwhelmed." And he goes, "Let me take you where you're going." And he starts walking with me. And I don't cry over like this is a big this turned into a bigger thing. So I'm crying.
Okay.
I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Thank you for helping me." And he looks in my eyes and he says, "There's a reason God put me there for you today." And I looked at him and it centered
Mhm.
me right back to what I'm here for. Like, to live the best life. And I've realized through all the pain, through all the sorrow, through all the hurt, through crying on my beautifully tiled floors in my kitchen, asking, "Help me. Why won't you?" There is a reason for all of it. And you're not higher power,
Doesn't always make
spiritualism,
sense.
whatever you want
Yep,
to call it.
yep,
There's
doesn't
no
always make sense.
is it's just higher power wants the best for you and for me. And that's doesn't cancel anything out. And I really believe that now. And it's the trust. But as I'm walking, getting stuck and having the first panic attack in 5 years,
Yeah,
there's a man that is there
that's not scary. Like you could tell he was there to help you. Like you said, do you work here? And just kind of showing you the way. And there's a book that I'll recommend often to people who are grieving and clients. It's called The Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson. You'll have to check it out.
Mhm.
My sign is right there. It's there's always little things that are happening around us. She talks about this in her book, and she's been on other podcasts and stuff. It's about learning to like pay attention to what those things are. And it's crazy, and the book is amazing. It's like chicken soup for the soul, but for grief and loss. But it also she teaches you how to kinda, like, hone in some of those skills to pay attention to the signs that are around us, and connecting us to the spiritual form of lost loved ones or pets, or there's even, like, a pet section in there. And it's really hard to kind of ignore, like, once you have some of these experiences, it's pretty profound, and I'm seeing you nodding your head,
Oh,
yes, like, yes, this is
like,
it, like, these are these experiences that I've been having, these spiritual
yes,
experiences.
constant, and not just from the world, but it's all energy. And so another one that happened to me, it was last Saturday or Sunday. I was visiting my parents. I had an appointment, went to it. I'm talking to this girl in the waiting room, and we're just chit-chatting about nothing. Just, "Oh, what you get done today?" Blah, 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 whatever. I go into the bathroom. I'm waiting for the person to come get me. I hear my name, and I'm like, "What?" It's her. She's like, wringing her hands. She's like, "Listen," she's like, she comes at me and she's like, "I have to tell you something. I have to." I said, "It's okay. Go ahead. You can tell me whatever." I'm intuitive. I'm a psychic. And I believe in intuition. I
Mhm.
believe in all of it.
Yep.
And she started talking about there's a man that's with you all the time.
Aw.
I already know this. And I know that our loved ones are all around us all the time. All the signs are there. My grandmother's beads that she used to give me one or two on my birthdays and Christmas. And I used to complain because I wanted the toy or whatever. I'm so thankful I have this. I'm so thankful I
Mhm.
have her wedding ring. Like, I just realized how big it all is and how connected we all are.
So interesting that she came up to you to tell you about the man that's with you, I'm assuming Jason.
Yes, and then the
Yeah.
dog that I got right after him that I rescued, she was a stray found in the woods at 8, she's 14 now, she got diagnosed
Aw.
with cancer a year ago, she was supposed
Uh,
to die. She
she's
protects
still
me, like,
here.
she's with me all the time. She brings that up, and I'm just like, "Wow." But
Like, how would she know this? This is a random lady at an appointment you've never met in your life before.
never met, never met. So it's just experiences like that, and they happen to me on a daily basis in any way, shape, or form. And I don't talk about them because some people don't want to believe that
Mhm.
things exist that we can't explain. And it's not even things that we can explain. It's the human nature and the light that we have in each person. And when you find your calling for your light and you share it with the world, I think that's the best we can all get. Truly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think, to me, the signs and just kinda looking and I don't know, I feel like hope, it connects you that maybe you're on the right path in life, or maybe it helps you to feel safe or protected. There's so many protective things that come with that. Like, I don't think it's bad. And if somebody is like, oh, I don't believe in that, I don't know if it's tied to their own stuff. I don't really think it has anything to do with you and your experience is
Right.
not actually happening. They don't have to believe in it because you believe in it. Doesn't matter if they don't believe in it.
Right.
But I think if it helps you heal and helps soften some of that grief, because man, I don't think anything ever prepares you even if you're old and gray, I don't think anything prepares you, but especially not at 50, nothing prepares
Right.
you to lose
No.
your significant
No.
other.
And that was 5 years ago now, just 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And it's like, I'm not raw, like, I've accepted it. Acceptance happened 2 years ago where I
Yeah.
started dating again.
Okay. Good for you. Good for
Oh,
you.
I don't know, it's a land of misfit toys out there.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. What is what is dating in midlife looking like?
Well,
I know it's rough. I know I know it's I've
my
heard
mother
all
told
the
me that
stories.
my problem is I date entirely too good-looking men.
Well, you're a pretty girl. Like I feel like you are allowed to date good-looking men. That's fine.
So
To
that's
each
my
their own.
exactly. It's just a mess out there, and I think at this age, we have so much trauma that we don't heal and things that start adding up. And I had a very specific demographic for the last year. And I started realizing maybe I'm the
Expansion.
avoidance best dance,
Avoidance, best dance. Is
the
that what you said?
avoidant personality's best dance
Yeah.
because I'm not like trying to push
Avoidant.
marriage or trying
Yep.
to like,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
so
You've done that. I've done that. I've had my kid. Like, I feel like there is something about dating in your 40s and beyond is like it's almost like that pressure of the timestamp of like, oh God, we got to rush because the clock is ticking. And you've done all those things. You're not looking for a baby daddy. You got your own space. Like, you've got your own thing going on. I think
yeah,
dating in your 40s, I think for women, at least I know it did for me post my divorce, came with more confidence. Like I don't need to do this.
yeah,
I do this because I want to do this. I want
correct.
to find a companion and a life partner, but I'm also okay being by myself.
Correct, correct. And I think there were 3 men that I met in the past year. And up until recently, I had, conversations with all of them. But if you're not okay yourself, you're not going to be
Hmm.
able to give anybody
Yeah.
anything. And again, nobody can change you. And I'm very fortunate that one of the men that I did meet made a profound impact on me to
Okay.
then give me the confidence to go make those changes. And I think it's because I don't take advice all the time.
Hmm.
The only advice I take is from people that are at the level that can give that advice.
Yeah, I feel like somebody who's not doing well in their life, you're not going to receive that well, right? Like, no one's life is perfect, but
Right.
I feel like if you've done some of the work, maybe you've perfected a little bit of how to deliver maybe information to somebody who doesn't necessarily want to hear it, but maybe needs to hear it.
Correct. Correct. So that was very eye opening. And I realized if a man is asking me when I start dating, what is it that you want? And I don't even know who I am.
I don't know what I want. Yeah.
How can I know what I want? Now I know what I want, and there's a list. And if it doesn't match up, you're about, but to
Yeah.
even get near that list now, I mean, maybe maybe I've gone like, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to a person, but there are qualities that I need to have now. And I know after all this, me saying this is gonna be like, "What? I need a man to lead."
No, I definitely follow some stuff on that. Men are supposed to lead with their masculine
Right.
energy. And not to say that a woman can't be strong in her beliefs or lead in certain aspects. I don't know. Share a little bit more about that because I
So
know
it's the
you're
same reaction that you're giving me. So you would think that being a single mom and pretty much being single most of the past, but being single for pretty much
all of raising your
like
kid for the most
17
part.
long time is you would think that I think I can do it all. And maybe for a while I did because I had to.
It's exhausting.
I'm exhausted, but I need a man to lead and be the masculine energy so that I can have the feminine energy and take my guard down. And
Mhm.
the men that you meet, it's very rare that you meet one that lets you take your guard down because all these men want a soft, soft woman. They
Well,
don't
they
know what
say
it
they do.
takes. They say
Yeah.
they do, but they
Yeah.
don't know what it takes for a woman to become soft. Takes it especially now. And I said to my
Safety.
friend,
I think safety, consistency, plan. Don't be afraid to communicate. There is that yin and the yang,
yeah,
right? Like, it's a balance. And if they want you to step out of your masculine energy, they have to be willing to be in the masculine energy themselves instead of that role reversal.
correct, correct. And I saw a guy friend the other week, and I said, "Do you think that I can be soft?" And he said, "Oh yeah, with the right person. Oh yeah, you can definitely be soft with the right person." And I started thinking about that and how soft I am when I look at other people or other circumstances. When I look back at some of the things I had difficulty in life with, I was also grateful to have a lot of the things that I had that didn't make it quite as hard at
Mhm.
times.
Yeah.
So I'm very blessed, very blessed. Even in the mess, I'm blessed. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they say what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. But I also think sometimes it's about understanding yourself and understanding what you need. I think in your 20s, we're all just figuring it out. We're all figuring it out with barely any experience in life, but now you're entering this dating realm with experience and a better understanding of who you are and what you need. And I think there's good men out there. I don't ever want to say like there's not good men. There are.
I'm
But I
real.
think it's about timing.
Yes.
And I'll joke with my fiance like, I wished because our paths definitely crossed. But I wished it would have crossed for us to had more time together, but I
Mhm.
also think, well, I was also a mess for a while, like, I needed to, like, be who I am today for this to work, and, and he had stuff he had to go through and deal with, and so we acknowledge that, but it's also like, who knows if it would have worked 20 years
Everything
ago.
things are perfectly aligned. They really
Yeah,
are, and you just acknowledge that too, like you said, "I wouldn't be this person now," and it is timing. You can have 2 wonderful people, but if it's not the
yeah,
timing where they both are wonderful in their own being,
yeah.
then they're not gonna be wonderful together. If they're not at their what they want for themselves, like we were talking about earlier, so
And I think willing to communicate, and willing to work for it. Relationships, even if they're easy, still take work. And I feel like you touched base a little bit on this, but I think an underlying factor is always going to be that self care component too. If I'm not taking care of myself, I can't be the best version of myself in my relationship. And let's touch base on that a little bit. Cause, right, you said, he didn't look good at the end, kind of referring back to Jason. And
yeah.
hindsight, were you guys taking care of yourself? And it was COVID.
No.
I don't think anybody was.
No, 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 and I wasn't taking care of myself until I sold my house. I wasn't able to be in a place to then take care of things like my son, getting him ready for college. I could
Mhm,
not do that in the environment that I was in.
mhm,
So me having some time to like recalibrate my nervous system in a lot of ways has made it so that I can now take care of what his needs are to then move him forward, even though he
mhm,
needs to do it on his own and he is, but
mhm.
my support to be able to support him.
Uh,
I've decided to set him up for
mhm,
success.
mhm.
Before then I decide where to permanently.
Man,
Yeah, and I'm okay. A year ago, that would have even 4 months
stressed you
ago,
out.
would have stressed me out. Now it's like, got a hole in my tire today and I didn't freak out. Like, I just like, things are just different. Just different.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of having faith that things are going to work out. I
They
don't know what
do.
that means necessarily always, but you're gonna get through it. I mean, you certainly are built with some resilience.
Everybody will get through their hardest days. They will. And I don't think people recognize that when they're feeling in pain or feeling distraught or feeling hopeless, you just need hope.
Mhm.
And that's what I found too is when I decided to make these changes, it was the hope of something better. And I think that what happens is once there's no hope or hope is taken away, that's when things are challenging for people.
Yeah, when there's not that light at the end of the
Right.
tunnel. And I guess there's always gonna be circumstances where people kinda lose hope a little bit, but my hope is that
Right.
something clicks and something pushes a person to kinda I don't know if it's getting out of your own way. Sometimes I think it is. Like, we kind of mentioned victim mentality. Victim mentality is always that, oh, this happened to me and therefore I'm doomed kind of mentality, or it's always somebody else. But what I've learned through my own work and through doing therapy with so many folks over the years is that you got to acknowledge some of those hard truths. So, like, what am I doing to get in my own way from seeing the light in the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
And I've had to ask myself that, like, okay, there's these patterns. Why am I repeating these patterns? And what the fuck do I need to do differently
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
stop this train from continuing?
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
I didn't know you could. I really didn't. I really didn't. I think you get on the train or on the you don't know you can make those changes once that you start. I don't know. So I have the light at the end of the tunnel, and now I
Hmm.
say I'm just waiting for the exhale.
Well, you have the exhale within you. That's already there. You have to be willing to take it, breathe into it,
It is, but that
and be
final
patient.
yeah, I'm not then I'm the light is there, but that final, and I don't know if you ever get it though, because things can things change so fast. Things can change like that,
I
especially
mean,
you see, I saw that,
yeah, yes.
I saw that, I felt that. I know that even personally, without a man, without kids, without anything,
Mhm.
that final exhale, I just don't know, because even if you think that that exhale's in reach, a whole shoe can drop. But I think you have to be okay now knowing that it's just the energy of life and the flow. I just don't know how
Yeah, and
to.
I think that's it, right? It's being in the moment, and right now in this moment, I can have that exhale. I can have that pause.
Then I have it all the time.
Right. It might not be here tomorrow, but in this moment, here and now, I have it. Think that it's embracing whatever comes. It's knowing you'll figure it out. And when my time comes, not that I want it anytime soon,
Yeah.
but you know, it is what it is. What can I do to, I guess, expand life a little bit? Am I taking care of myself? Am I getting good sleep? Am I trying to eat right? Am I exercising? Like that's something I really believe is really important in our mental well-being is physical activity, moving our bodies. It doesn't have to be like what we grew up with anorexic 90s supermodels. It's going for a walk and it's noticing nature. It's going out onto the lake and maybe kayaking.
Yeah.
It really is just embracing everything that life has to offer and really just enjoying and loving the hell out of it.
It's holistic living. It's the way that I think we were supposed to live. And you're right. It's not like going to lift weights all day. It's taking a walk and breathing it in and noticing the birds and noticing the wind blowing the tree and how it relates to you and life and the flow of life and being
How
in.
interconnected. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And I think like another part of this whole thing is people need to realize that if they're not happy either, the universe will make a way. When you don't think there's any possible way out of a circumstance or out of this or that, the universe will open. And
Hmm.
it's your choice whether you run through that door that the universe created or if you're too scared. So you have to make that choice. And I think anybody that feels like I did, when that happens, you run. You don't look
Hmm.
back. You run, even though you don't
Hmm.
know what's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you coming on with everything said. What would your takeaway be for anybody going through midlife and maybe experiencing loss, maybe facing the unimaginable midlife? What would your takeaway be?
The strength within you of knowing and feeling your purpose and the purpose of those gifted experiences or people that have come into your life. And we know that life and death are certain.
Hmm.
And I think it's really important to tell people you love them.
Oh,
Spend that time with them.
connection. Yeah.
Connection is the most important thing that we have. And don't be scared of love or life or living it. You're going to miss that person. You wish they were here in the physical with you. But once you realize that it's all energy,
Hmm.
know that they're with you and guiding you. And a lot of the changes that I've made, deciding to move somewhere else or wherever the world takes me, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believing in yourself a little bit that, you'll
Yeah.
get through it.
Yeah. We all have it within ourselves to save ourselves with the help of therapists, whatever you choose to do that. But we all have it within ourselves and it has to be our choice. And we have to sprinkle our own fairy dust on because this is what I deserve for my life.
Yeah. And it's worth it. I think that's a big aspect of it. It's worth it. Like,
No regrets ever. No regrets ever. Any of the things, I mean, of course, you don't want somebody to die. That's
of
terrible.
course not. But like
But no
regrets,
regrets of the choices that I've made or the decisions I've made. There's not one regret. So I don't know
awesome.
where I'll end up, but it's certainly fun in the meantime.
I wish the best for people and for you.
Me too.
And I'm glad that you're through that dark period of your life and you found the light at the end of the tunnel and you're living again. I know you said dating can be a little chaotic, but you know what? Have a little fun. You
Oh,
are an amazing woman
thank you.
and the right one, it'll happen. Your life
Yes,
is
it
not
will.
done yet.
In the right time, the right person.
You
Correct.
got it.
And it was great to see you and
You
catch
too.
up, and I want everybody to succeed and be happy and live their best life, and I love what you're doing. You're
Thank
helping so
you.
many people, like, I love
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's my hope, right?
Yeah,
So, sprinkling, like you said, that fairy dust a little bit out further into the world and putting something good out there.
absolutely.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes, my pleasure.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me for today's conversation on the Unapologetic Midlife Podcast. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps others find this space of honesty, hope, and reinvention. The Unapologetic Midlife Podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical, mental health, or professional advice. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapeutic relationship with Mindy Labazetta, LMHC. Always consult with a qualified healthcare or mental health professional regarding your individual needs. If you are experiencing a crisis, call 911 or dial 988 for the Suicide Crisis Lifeline. Hope to see you soon.